Hello, my name is Tylluan Penry. I'm a solitary pagan witch and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. And this little chat today is coming to you about energy. How can we experience energy for ourselves? And I don't mean the sort of energy where you get up and run a mile or something. We're talking about the kind of psychic energy, if you like. Because one of the things I've found when I've talked to people, and it doesn't matter whether they've been in the craft for, a month, a year, 10 years even, is that sometimes it's definitions of the very simple things that have passed them by. And because they don't understand some of the basics, they find it very much harder. All of a sudden they hit a standstill. And that's partly what these little talks are designed to dispel. So, energy. What I want to do today is to show you a very, very simple way to experience energy for yourselves. You don't need any special tools, nothing like that, just your hands and a little bit of know-how. Now, the thing about our hands, I've always said that a good witch can get by with nothing but her breath and her hands. And if you heard a deep sigh then, that was one of my dogs. I think it was Homer. He says he's heard it all before. Anyway, I always say that a good witch can get by with nothing but her breath and her hands. And I believe this is true. And actually, throughout history, the hands have been always regarded as very, very powerful. And we see this in the way that the hands are named, the fingers rather, not the hands, the fingers are named. And, in Roman times, in Anglo-Saxon times, they're very similar. You get the thumb, the thumb actually comes from the same root as the tumulus, tumor. Even thigh, something lumpy, something plump, if you like. The Romans called this finger basically the equivalent of a pointing finger. Anglo-Saxons might have viewed it as a bow finger. The middle finger was traditionally viewed as an unclean finger, a rude finger, and we know why. But this is the finger that concerns us today. I don't know, I'd call it the fourth finger. Some people would say the third finger. Let's call it the ring finger, except that's not what it used to be called. The Romans called it after healing. And so did the Anglo-Saxons. They called it the leech finger. And a leech then was not, we think of leeches now as horrible little things that stick on you and suck blood out of you, but for the Anglo-Saxons, the leech was a healer, a magical healer quite often. And in fact, some of the very early Anglo-Saxon herbals were called leech books. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the leech finger on each hand. It was traditionally used for stirring potions, applying ointments, especially in conjunction with a charm. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this hand. Doesn't matter which way round you do it. This is the way that feels comfortable to me. But you take the leech finger in the other hand and you run it about 1/2 centimetre, 1/4 inch away from the surface of the other leech finger. From the top, sorry about this, my fingers won't do what I tell them. From the top of the finger down to the bottom. And when you do this, you can feel a distinct cool breeze. And that, believe it or not, is energy. These fingers were special because it was thought that an artery went straight from the leech finger to the heart. Now, I'm not a medical person, so I wouldn't presume to say. I imagine there's arteries and veins all over us. But it was felt there was something very special about this finger. And I do urge you to try it because I have very, very rarely, but once or twice in my life, met anyone who didn't get a result that way. So you just take your leech finger and you run it, not touching, and you feel like a cool breath of wind. It's a fascinating feeling. And there you have it. That is a form of energy. It's not the only form. Sometimes you sense energy as heat, as tingling, buzzing sort of sensation. But this is one form of it. So that now when you talk about energy, you can say, yes, I know, I've experienced energy for myself. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. Goodbye.